There is a quiet dignity in the way a Sigma male approaches life. Unlike the noise of men who constantly seek validation, a Sigma does not run after people, achievements, or even love. He walks at his own pace, guided by an inner compass that few understand. In a world where so many chase affection, trying to be liked, trying to be chosen, a Sigma chooses differently. He does not believe love is something to be hunted or forced. Instead, he understands that love, like respect, grows naturally in the presence of authenticity. Think of a tree by the riverside. It does not chase the rain, nor does it beg the wind to pass through its leaves. It simply stands, rooted, steady, and alive. In its stillness, it provides shade, shelter, and fruit, and people are drawn to it, not because the tree asked, but because it simply became what it was meant to be. This is how the Sigma male finds love, not through pursuit, but through presence. Through becoming the kind of man who does not need love to complete him, but who attracts love because of the wholeness he already carries. In today's video, we will explore this timeless principle in depth. We will look at 8 ways Sigma males discover love, not by running after it, but by quietly living in alignment with who they are. If you've ever felt the pressure to chase, to prove yourself, or to settle just to avoid being alone, this message is for you. The Sigma path teaches that love is not a prize to win, it is a reflection of the life you've built. Let us walk through these 8 truths together, slowly and carefully, the way a Sigma himself would. Number 1, they build themselves first. Sigma males do not begin their journey by searching for someone else. They begin with themselves. This distinction is crucial because it highlights one of the deepest truths about their nature. Personal growth, purpose, and independence form the bedrock of their lives. Before romance, before companionship, there is the work of self-discovery. Psychology even supports this idea. Research in positive psychology emphasizes that individuals with a strong sense of purpose and self-awareness tend to form healthier, more fulfilling relationships. When you understand who you are and what drives you, you no longer depend on others to fill an inner void. Instead, love becomes a complement to your life, not the cornerstone of it. For a Sigma male, the journey often begins in solitude. This isn't loneliness, but rather chosen solitude, a space to reflect, to grow, and to sharpen one's values. Think of great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius or Henry David Thoreau, who stressed the importance of self-reliance and inner strength. A Sigma takes this to heart, refusing to let society's rush for validation dictate his pace. He builds himself first, focusing on discipline, skills, and his mission in life. Romance, when it arrives, is not the destination, but the natural outcome of a life well lived. This is why Sigmas are often so magnetic without even trying. Their independence, emotional stability, and self-assuredness draw people in naturally. Love comes to them not because they chase it, but because they embody qualities that others crave: confidence without arrogance, strength without domination, and presence without desperation. In fact, studies show that authenticity and self-confidence are 2 of the most attractive traits across cultures. When a Sigma cultivates these within himself, attraction follows effortlessly. In the end, the Sigma's approach to love is not one of pursuit, but of alignment. By first becoming whole within himself, he creates a life that radiates purpose. Love then arrives as a byproduct, much like fruit growing on a healthy tree. The Sigma doesn't need to chase it because by the time love appears, he has already built a foundation solid enough to sustain it. Number 2, they value solitude over desperation. Unlike men who fear loneliness and chase relationships to fill the void, Sigma males stand apart. They are comfortable in solitude, not because they reject people, but because they have mastered the art of being whole on their own. Psychology often calls this trait self-sufficiency, the ability to feel complete without external validation. Research shows that people who cultivate independence are less likely to experience codependency in relationships and tend to build healthier, more balanced connections. For the Sigma, time alone isn't a punishment, it's a workshop. In solitude, he reflects, sharpens his mind, and strengthens his identity. Famous thinkers like Friedrich Nietzsche and Henry David Thoreau emphasize this power of solitude, noting that stepping away from the noise of society allows deeper self-discovery and resilience. This independence gives the Sigma male a unique advantage in relationships. When he does connect with someone, It's not driven by fear of being alone or desperation for affection. Instead, it's genuine, a conscious choice rooted in mutual respect and authenticity. Unlike men who rush into love to avoid emptiness, the Sigma attracts relationships through his wholeness. People sense that he doesn't need them to feel complete, which paradoxically makes his presence even more desirable. It's the same reason why confidence and independence are universally attractive traits. They signal strength, stability, and depth. Think of it like this. While many chase love the way a thirsty traveler chases mirages in the desert, a Sigma male is more like an oasis. He doesn't run after others, he simply exists in fullness. And just like water in the desert draws people without effort, his quiet completeness draws genuine connections. This is why Sigmas often find themselves admired and pursued even when they aren't looking. Love for them isn't about escape from loneliness. It's about sharing a life already rich with meaning. Their comfort in solitude ensures that when they finally let someone in, it isn't out of desperation, but out of choice, and that makes all the difference. Number 3, they attract through authenticity. A Sigma male does not wear masks to impress, and this is one of his most powerful traits. In a society where image often takes precedence over substance, the Sigma's calm, authentic self becomes magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who embody sincerity because authenticity is rare and refreshing in a world that constantly pressures individuals to perform. Instead of tailoring his behavior to gain approval, the Sigma male embraces who he is at his core. He knows that relationships built on pretense never last, while those grounded in truth can withstand the storms of life. From a psychological perspective, authenticity is linked to higher levels of well-being and resilience. Studies in personality psychology show that individuals who consistently act in line with their true values experience less stress, greater life satisfaction, and stronger social bonds. Unlike those who depend on external validation, Sigmas find strength in self-acceptance. Their quiet confidence communicates stability, something others instinctively respect. People may not always understand him, but they sense that he is real, and that is enough to create a lasting impact. Consider history and culture. Some of the most influential figures were admired not because they fit into society's mold, but because they remained true to themselves. Think of philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, whose Stoic teachings emphasized integrity and inner peace, or modern cultural icons like Keanu Reeves, whose down-to-earth personality resonates in an industry built on image. These examples reflect the Sigma's essence, standing firm without needing to shout. What makes this quality entertaining to reflect upon is how it flips social dynamics upside down. While others chase attention through loud displays, the Sigma's stillness becomes the loudest statement in the room. His presence communicates, "I'm not here to impress, I am here to be." This paradox is what fascinates people. His lack of performance becomes the very thing that draws others in. Ultimately, the Sigma male reminds us that sincerity will always outlast the masks people wear, because truth doesn't need an audience, it simply exists. And in its existence, it transforms everything around it. Number 4, they let actions speak louder than words. Rather than chasing with constant words or grand gestures, Sigma males embody a quiet presence that speaks volumes. They don't rely on flashy displays to win attention or affection. Instead, their lives are built on stability, reliability, and inner strength. These qualities communicate more powerfully than pursuit ever could. In psychology, this is often described as the idea that actions and consistent behaviors carry greater weight than spoken promises. Studies in social psychology show that people are more drawn to those who exude self-assurance and calmness because it signals dependability and safety, traits that humans instinctively value in relationships. Think about the difference between someone who constantly declares their loyalty and someone who simply shows up time after time without fail. The latter requires no explanation. Their actions speak for themselves, building a foundation of trust that words alone cannot secure. This is the Sigma male's way. He doesn't see love or respect as something to be earned through performance. He sees it as something naturally attracted to authenticity. Much like how the philosopher Lao Tzu emphasized that a leader is best when people barely know he exists, a Sigma leads in love and life by being, not by chasing. From an evolutionary perspective, qualities like consistency and resilience are signals of long-term reliability. Anthropologists note that throughout history, communities have survived not by the efforts of the loudest individuals, but by those who provided stability in uncertain times. The Sigma's quiet strength echoes this truth. His calmness in a chaotic world is not only attractive, but also deeply reassuring, especially to those seeking grounding energy in their relationships. What makes this so effective is the contrast. In a culture where many people equate effort with constant pursuit, whether through text, attention, or exaggerated displays, the Sigma male's restraint feels refreshing. His stability becomes magnetic because it is rare. People are naturally drawn to those who do not demand approval but simply exist with quiet confidence. In the end, it's not the noise of pursuit that wins hearts, but the calm rhythm of presence, a rhythm Sigma males have mastered. Number 5, they are patient with timing. Love, for the Sigma male, is never a hurried chase, but a quiet unfolding of time and purpose. Unlike those who rush into relationships out of fear of loneliness or the need for validation, the Sigma believes in letting life arrange itself with natural rhythm. They carry the conviction that what is meant for them will not pass them by, and this trust gives them a rare sense of calm in matters of the heart. Modern psychology even supports this mindset. Studies show that people who avoid anxious attachment styles tend to have healthier, more fulfilling relationships because they are less likely to force connections that aren't right for them. The Sigma's patience is not passivity, it is strength disguised as stillness, a confidence that love does not need to be dragged into existence. This approach mirrors principles found in both philosophy and nature. Stoic thinkers like Epictetus taught that we should not cling to what is outside of our control, but instead focus on becoming the best version of ourselves. The Sigma lives by this wisdom, trusting that love flourishes when a man is grounded in his own sense of identity. Think of how ecosystems thrive. Trees do not beg the rain to fall. Rivers do not plead for fish to swim in their waters. Each element simply exists in its fullness, and in doing so, it naturally attracts what belongs there. In the same way, the Sigma draws love through authenticity rather than pursuit. This is not to say Sigmas are emotionless or detached. On the contrary, when they do open themselves to love, it is often profound and deeply loyal because it has not been rushed or born from desperation. Sociological research on long-term partnerships reveals that relationships rooted in patience and mutual respect tend to endure far longer than those sparked only by passion. For the Sigma, love is not about filling a void, but about complementing a life already whole. And so they wait, not idly, but with purpose, knowing that in the right season, the right connection will align. This faith in timing transforms love from a frantic chase into a powerful natural arrival. Number 6, they create space for respect. Chasing often reduces dignity, but Sigma males carry themselves in a way that commands respect. Unlike many who chase validation, affection, or acceptance, the Sigma operates from a place of inner wholeness. Psychologists describe this as self-determination, a mindset where a person's behavior is guided by internal values rather than external rewards. Because of this, Sigma males naturally give people space to make their own choices, instead of pressuring them into staying, loving, or accepting. This is not indifference, rather, it is confidence rooted in the understanding that real connections cannot be forced. In relationships and social dynamics, chasing often creates an imbalance of power. Studies in human psychology show that when one person is overly eager to pursue, the other often withdraws, a phenomenon known as the pursuer-distancer dynamic. Sigma males, however, avoid falling into this trap by maintaining balance. They allow others to come closer freely, which paradoxically makes people value their presence more. This quiet restraint is not manipulation, it's dignity. It's the same reason why, in history, leaders like Marcus Aurelius or even modern figures like Keanu Reeves are admired. They do not seek constant attention, yet attention finds them. Entertainingly, you might compare the Sigma to gravity. Planets don't chase the sun, they orbit naturally because of its steady pull. A Sigma male's calm confidence works the same way. He doesn't send frantic signals to prove his worth. He simply is, rooted, composed, and authentic. This authenticity creates a magnetic effect where respect, friendships, and even love come as natural responses to his energy. What makes this approach fascinating is that it doesn't just apply to dating or friendships, but also to work and leadership. Research on leadership styles reveals that people are more likely to follow leaders who practice autonomy and calm decisiveness. Sigma males embody this principle by not demanding loyalty but inspiring it. When they give others space to choose freely, what returns to them is often more genuine and lasting. In a noisy world where many fight for attention, the Sigma stands out by not fighting at all. His quiet dignity reminds us of an essential truth. When you stop chasing and start becoming, you stop begging for respect and begin commanding it. That is the Sigma male's power, presence without pursuit. Number 7, they focus on shared values, not appearances. For Sigmas, love has never been about shallow attraction or the thrill of temporary excitement. It runs much deeper than chemistry or appearances. It is rooted in alignment, in shared values, principles, and vision. This is what allows a Sigma's relationships to endure, because for him, charm alone is never enough. Modern psychology backs this up. Studies show that long-term relationship satisfaction is strongly tied to shared life goals, moral alignment, and emotional compatibility rather than surface attraction. Physical charm may spark interest, but values sustain it. A Sigma male is highly independent, often living outside traditional social hierarchies, and that independence shapes the way he approaches love. He does not chase or cling because he does not need external validation. Instead, he seeks someone who reflects the authenticity he carries within himself. Unlike the romanticized love at first sight narrative, Sigmas are more cautious observers. They look for consistency of character, watching how someone behaves not just in moments of ease, but in times of pressure. That's because principles and vision are revealed in adversity, not just in light-hearted encounters. Consider how great trees withstand storms, not by appearing beautiful on the surface, but by being rooted deeply. A Sigma views love in the same way. He invests in the foundation of shared principles, knowing that life will test every bond. When two people align in values, say honesty, respect, or growth, they create resilience. This is why many Sigmas may remain single longer than others. They refuse to settle for compatibility that is only skin deep. Interestingly, anthropological research also suggests that in ancient societies, people who partnered based on shared survival strategies like cooperation, resource sharing, and loyalty were more likely to thrive and raise successful families. Sigmas instinctively follow a similar path, except their survival strategy is psychological and spiritual alignment. Love for a Sigma is not about finding someone to fill a void, but about walking alongside a partner with shared direction. This alignment transforms love into a partnership where both individuals can grow without compromising their identities. And that is what makes a Sigma's love rare, because when it is found, it is not fleeting passion, but enduring purpose. Number 8, they believe love finds them in stillness. Ultimately, Sigma males know that love is not something you run after. It is something that finds you when you are quietly becoming the best version of yourself. This perspective might seem mysterious to those accustomed to the idea of chasing relationships, but it reflects a profound psychological truth. Studies in social psychology have shown that people are more attracted to individuals who radiate self-assurance and independence rather than desperation or neediness. When you cultivate personal growth, whether through developing your career, improving your physical health, or strengthening your emotional resilience, you naturally exude confidence and stability. These are qualities that human beings, both historically and biologically, have always found magnetic. Consider how this works in nature. A flower does not move through the field searching for bees, it simply blooms. And by being what it was created to be, it attracts exactly what it needs. The Sigma male follows the same principle. He does not see love as a trophy to be won, nor does he treat relationships as a race. Instead, he views them as natural outcomes of authenticity. Psychology even supports this idea through the concept of self-determination theory, which explains that people thrive when they pursue intrinsic goals such as growth, mastery, and purpose, rather than external validation. Love often arrives in the orbit of such a person because they are grounded in self-sufficiency. This doesn't mean the Sigma rejects love. It simply means he does not idolize it. He understands that real connection is built when two whole individuals meet, not when one person is looking for the other to fill a void. In this way, the Sigma male demonstrates that love is not about pursuit, but about presence, the kind of presence that comes from living fully, with purpose and on one's own terms. In the end, the Sigma male teaches us that love is not something we run toward. It is something that naturally arrives when we live in quiet alignment with who we are. By refusing to chase, Sigmas remind us that desperation never builds connection, and that the strongest relationships are those rooted in respect, patience, and authenticity. Love for them is not a pursuit but a reflection. It reflects the discipline they have cultivated, the life they have built, and the calm strength they embody. And when love does arrive, it is not forced, not fragile, but steady, because it found a man who was already whole. This is the timeless wisdom of the Sigma path. Do not run after what you seek. Instead, become the kind of man who draws it to you without effort. Build yourself, live with purpose, and let love find its way into your life when the time is right. For those who feel the pressure to chase, remember this. Stillness is not weakness, and solitude is not emptiness. Sometimes the greatest act of strength is to wait quietly until what is meant for you recognizes the man you have become.